Hi, this is my attempt to repair what's called a Bkool Classic Turbo Trainer. I bought this on eBay primarily just to understand how it works, so that should my normal trainer, let me just show you, there's my normal trainer, should that fail, then I got some understanding of how it works, and therefore a better chance of fixing it. So the first challenge with these things is the disassembly. You can see the two halves of the white shell. The screws are a real pain. I don't know whether you can see that, but they don't seem to be a standard screw of any kind. And just by luck, I found that I'd got a fairly ordinary screwdriver, and just by filing off the corners, I found they were quite a good fit into the screws, and that enabled me to take the screws out. But that was only the first challenge. The second was actually to get this shell, this part of the shell, off the main body of the trainer. And just for your information, you can see there's a tab there, and it was actually by putting a screwdriver down between the black body of the trainer and the white shell, and by rotating the screwdriver it managed to pull that tab out. So I was finally able to get the whole body exposed. Now the problem with this trainer was that when switched on, after about a couple of seconds, the motor whirred and it made this terrible noise. But in order to explain how to fix it, I ought to explain how it works. So you can see the flywheel here, and adjacent to it are these two magnets, and they're actually on a slider. I'll try and pull that out, and you can just see the screw thread in the back, and this motor drives the screw thread, which moves this slider normally backwards and forwards. Now I've disconnected these two screws, hence the motor can move in and out, but normally when the motor runs, this slider moves in and out, and the greater the overlap between the magnets and the flywheel, the greater the resistance. Now this motor here is a stepper motor, and it's driven by a circuit board. I should say, by the way, that there's a screw down here that locates the circuit board. So the screw down that hole there, and once that screw is removed, then this can be pulled out. So here is the power connection, that black socket there, and then this is the wire that connects up to the stepper motor, and this is the part that was actually causing the problem, because this is an opto sensor, so there's a little beam across that gap, and when the beam is broken it sends a message to the firmware on the board, and I'll just explain in a moment how that actually works. To complete the explanation, I'll just need to pull the slider right out, and you'll see on here there's a piece of, this is what I call a tab, and you'll see that it now has a bit of black tape on it, and that was to solve the problem, because the trainer wasn't working, because in the initialization phase, when the position of the slider is first set, the slider is pushed forwards, and then it pulls back until this tab cuts the beam on this optical switch. So that actually, once the whole thing had been taken apart, all that I needed to do was extend the tab with a bit of black tape, so that it was protruding deeply enough into that optical sensor to actually operate it. And once that had been done, extended, the early signs are that the whole thing will work correctly. So I'll maybe just do a little bit of an add-on to show that it's all worked, but I hope that's useful to somebody to see, I guess, A, how these contraptions work, and B, a few steps if you have a similar problem on how to fix it. So if you need any more info, by all means give me a shout. Hope that's helpful. All the best. Bye bye.